Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my career mode in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Today we are bringing a yacht from Lisbon, Portugal down to Seville, Spain. And as always, we'll start heading out onto the highway before I get into the topic of the day. So one of the things that I also put in as a config change, I was watching Zilla Blitz's video where he was talking about setting the camera rotation angle so that the direction I steer in, the camera starts to turn to, and that's been very handy. I really did have to play with the settings quite a bit to get it to the point where it wasn't quite so nausea-inducing, because I like now, like I don't want to have a tremendous amount of change as I'm just going up the hill and making the turn. Where I do want to have it though is when I am making the sharper turns for left or right turns. And coming up, we'll be making the left, so you can see the. Let's see, am I gonna make the light? Nope, didn't think so. All right, making this left is. I guess that's gonna be fun. That guy's not gonna let me go, is he? Oh, he is. And I'm gonna clear it on the yacht. It's more of a large sailboat than an actual yacht. As an aside, have you ever seen those videos where they're pulling those massive yachts down? I think it's up in Rotterdam. There's a yacht builder, and they've designed it so that it just squeaks by all of the locks, canals, bridges, etc. And it's really interesting. Every now and then one of those will pop up my YouTube recommended feeds, and it's sort of amazing. And I remember too, was it at Jeff Bezos where his yacht they were going to have to remove and rebuild some World War II era bridge? I'm curious if that ever ended up happening. So you can see here as I make that turn, the camera angle is turning nicely for a nice little viewpoint. Overall, in terms of both playtime and I think my levels in the game, I am slightly favoring American Truck Simulator over Euro Truck Simulator. I think it's because I like the big honking trucks and riding through the gorgeous Pacific Northwest scenery. But what I do love about Euro Truck Simulator is the diversity of the scenery, the better bridges. The bridges are much more aesthetically pleasing, and I get a better sense of going from place to place in its little towns than I did through. So I tried an interesting little experiment because I get fascinated, like I had mentioned last American Truck Simulator video, with the people with the big setups with the multi-monitors that are showing, almost 180 degrees out the front with the three or four monitors. And my main display it's a 4K monitor that I got about 6 years ago. It's one of the LGs, not the ultra fine. It's the I don't know, it's the ultra HD, whatever. And it's a decent monitor. I like it. And I got it back when I got my Retina MacBook Pro in 2016 because my old 1080p monitor was hurting my eyes after I was getting used to the really decent display on the MacBook Pro. And so now when I got the gaming PC, obviously I moved the 4K monitor over to it, and the 1080p monitor has been sitting in the closet for a few years. And typically on brand for me is about every 2 years I haul the monitor out, hook it up to something, go, ugh, oh man, that monitor, 10-year-old monitor just doesn't look good these days. So back in the closet it goes. And today was about 2 years since I've done this fun exercise, and so I took it out, hooked it up, and it was sure enough, the monitor doesn't look that good. But I went down a rabbit hole of, well, how would I run Euro Truck Simulator, because I wanted to be able to easily look out my right hand mirrors, and even just editing over to do that, like end up doing that, not driving off the road. Um, so I went down that rabbit hole, and it was a weird experience where basically the short version to a long story, I had to go into the NVIDIA control panel, enable what is called surround, where it takes the two displays, mashes them together into one big virtual display, and editing my various config files in Euro Truck Simulator 2 to take advantage of the multi-monitors, etc. And it worked actually pretty good. And, well, I ended up taking it down already because that's not brand for me. But I ended up with a handful of problems that showed sort of the jankiness of it. The first somewhat obvious one is, well, if you take a 4K monitor and a 1080p monitor, it is going to default to the lower pixel density of the 1080p monitor, so the game didn't look that good. The second issue that I had was the UI, so like Sissel's rear visor down at the bottom and various pop-up screens would show basically where the bezels are. And I could kind of live with that because I usually try to run them with the rooted visors off, so I could deal with that. And the third problem was, well, if I use the NVIDIA overlay, which I sometimes like to do to record, it would just grab the entire viewport, which I didn't want. I just wanted, well, what you guys see in front of me in the usual look. And so I went in OBS and I was able to crop it down. And of course, the problem with that is now I'm not even sure what resolution I was actually outputting it at. But it also kind of looked like crap. And now the solution, of course, is, well, I just get another 4K monitor, but, well, that's not going to happen. I have every now and then toyed with the idea of getting one of the ultra-wide monitors and then spending more time in OBS to actually just capture the center of it. But I'm not going to get another monitor now anyway because I like the 4K. I like the minimal display. And so now I'm back to just running the one 4K monitor with the resolution I like. And I'm still struggling with the ways to easily look out the mirror. American Truck Simulator, it's less of a problem because on all of my trucks I have the hood mirrors, so I can see the different lanes. Euro Truck Simulator is the one that keeps posing a problem with that because, well, obviously there's not really noises to these trucks, so I have to keep. I'll just kind of sneak over and run off the road, or just pray that there's nobody coming up behind me. SCS also recently announced last week or a couple of weeks ago that the next expansion pack for Euro Truck Simulator will be more of the Balkans, which I'm looking forward to, especially since they've had to pretty much indefinitely cancel the Heart of Russia for reasons I talked about briefly last time, and we don't need to really go back through that alley. Obviously I'm looking forward to it. My hope is that they were far enough along that they don't have to do too much catch up. My fear is that they will just push it out the door to try to make up some of the lost income that they didn't get from Heart of Russia. I'm also a little curious why they haven't had an event. I think even this year. I think the last one that they ran was the Christmas event back in, well, Christmas time. And I keep hoping that, they do a summer one. They didn't do a spring event. I'm not sure what's really even going on with that. You'd kind of think that they should be pretty easy to schedule and pump out, and maybe have the art team do a few accessories like a banner or whatever they sometimes do. So I am really hoping that we get an event soon because I've never done one of them. I didn't start playing the truck sims until March-ish, so I've yet to to experience some of the events. And I'm hoping the expansion after that is going to be Great Britain and Ireland, with really spicing up the Great Britain and Ireland, because especially Great Britain, that's probably one of the oldest areas in the game that hasn't been touched. I haven't driven up there in a long time because of that reason. And I guess it's probably gonna have to close to be one of the next one, because also in the Balkans, they're not doing Greece or any of that. So I guess they could start heading down there as part of one of the forthcoming expansions. They did announce too that Hanover, Germany will be getting some more work done, so that'll be nice to see. I'm glad that they're going through and revisiting some of these areas that are older and constantly spicing them up. We are come on. All right, I'm just going to let him. Can I get over without hitting anybody? No, see, that's the problem I'm having. I keep drifting. I think what my solution is going to be, like I said, I try to get with the realistic ones, but obviously in a real truck, you can just sort of, flick your head to one direction to see what the mirrors look like. And as much as I hated doing them, I think I'm going to break down and put the small F2 mirrors up in the corner, and I'm going to use the upper right one as my right hand video turn, just to mimic being able to turn over. I have also thought about checking out that free head tracker, but I'm not sure if that's going to help or hurt, because even when I had the multi-monitor set up, I still found myself turning my head and turning the wheel, which isn't something I do in real life, so it's trying to overcome that habit's been a little bit challenging. When I'm also finding out, when I started a job, I used to just go for the one that paid the most, which was obviously the very long haul jobs, because I'd be like, woohoo, I'm going to play the game for a few hours and might as well make 100,000 euros. And I've started now looking and filtering on the price per distance more than the price of the job, because obviously you think, okay, well, I'm going to make 100,000 euros, but when you look at your expenses, the time and everything, it's like, okay, well, it's three math-wise, 3 medium-length jobs, and sure enough, 3 medium-length jobs would pay about that, without me doing a longer run. So I'm heading now to Seville, and I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of keep picking up jobs that keep going east, and working my way back up to Scandinavia. I went on a buying spree right at the end of one of the Steam sales, and picked up all of the DLCs for both games that I'm missing. So there's a lot of ground that I haven't covered in Euro Truck Simulator. I've at least gone into some of the newer areas in American Truck Simulator, not all of them, but I think I just barely tipped my truck nose into Scandinavia. So I'm going to start working my way back up into there. From a channel update perspective, what I'm also going to be doing is re-thumbnailing the videos. My original thought was that these would be episodic, where you'd watch video 1, watch video 2, and see my progression through here. I ended up having a busier 2 months than I originally thought I was going to have, and so I ended up just playing the game and not recording. And now I've pretty much killed any idea that you'd be seeing any real progression. So I'm going to be taking these more as just a drive where I chat and let me get over, and less about any sort of plot development. And in terms of trucks, I am still driving the Volvo Globe. I like it very much. I am thinking about also picking up one of the Scania trucks just to try those out. I am going to slowly work my way towards the achievement of driving 1,000 miles in all of the different truck brands. So I've obviously got quite a bit of work ahead of me, but I know that there's always the fun debate on the forums and everything about which is better, the Scania or the Volvo, and I wanna I do want to give the Scanias a try. What I also like, I wish I could get some of these in American Truck Simulator, is that bar, the light bar across the top, really lights the area up like a night game. A fun fact about me is bridges like this, I am 100% terrified to drive over in real life. There's a few near me that are like this. One of the ones, if you'll post a link to it, but the bridge going over the Narragansett Bay into Newport, I'm terrified to drive over. There's one that's also, it's on Route 90 heading west over the Hudson. I'll try to remember to post links to these in the description, but that's another one. You're way high up. It's also a narrow bridge, and there's a lot of trucks that I end up riding behind. And every time I've had to go over that bridge, it's been a pouring rain or something, and it's. I like driving over them in the truck simulators much more than I like driving them in real life. Okay, we're starting to sneak our way up. Start getting over. Yeah, I am gonna just cheat and put that F2 in-game mirror up there. I don't know if there's a mod that lets me put a camera-mounted mirror in the truck. If there is, let me know, and I'll use that one instead. But yeah. Could have sworn I wasn't tired when I took this. You know what, too? I think I forget too, the Euro Truck Simulator one, the sleeping meter is a couple hours shorter than the American Truck Simulator one. Almost missed the turn. I did that in real life yesterday. I was coming home for some friends and drove right by my exit. That was fun. Oh man, I was doing so good. I'd sneak my way around. No, gonna be tight. Don't get hung up. All right. Snuck through. All right. Let's see what the parking challenge is. I am going to opt for let's play it safe. I'm not I'm not in the mood to try to back this trailer into there. Alrighty, sneak this in. Do I get the green? Yes. All right, let's see what all we got. That's not bad. 900 XP and 2700. So, level 25 instructor. Thanks for riding along with me, and we'll talk to you next time.